So recently, I saw a video from one of my favorite creators here on YouTube, Emily Dialgiallo. Oh my gosh, I feel like I just completely butchered your entire last name, and I'm so sorry because I know how it feels when people mess up my last name, or even my first name. But anyway, she did a video where we got to know a little bit more about her by answering 10 different finance type questions. And so I saw that video, I was like, yo, I want to do it too. Apparently the video was originally from another creator. If you give me 1 second, let me look up what the other creator's name was. Her name was the Save at Home Mom. So in this video, I'm gonna share a little bit more about ya boy, so you guys can learn a little bit more about where I come from and a little bit more about some of the tenets of how I think about money and all those kind of things. If y'all are ready for it, let's get this show started. Alright? Whoosh. What's going on, people? It's your boy Koichi back with another video. If this is your first time around these parts, hit that subscribe button. If you enjoy anything that we talk about on this video, hit that like button. Turn that thing. Oh man, we were close. Blue. But anyway, welcome back to the channel, everybody. And we're just gonna start off with question numero uno. I don't know why I went from English to Spanish and then back to English. Anyway, you know, I'm weird on this channel. Question number 1 was, what was your last purchase and do you regret it? What was the last purchase? The last large purchase that I had was gifts, right? Yeah, it was a gift from my mom for her birthday. Me and my siblings combined and bought her a new cell phone. That's basically it. I don't spend money on myself, in all honesty. So yeah, that answers that question. I don't know. If I say the last personal thing that I spent a large bit of money on, I mean, I spent like $3,500 on crypto last night. Does that count? But really, it wasn't really like I bought like Bitcoin or Ethereum. Well, I bought like $1,500 of Ethereum. But like the other amount was just basically so I could get like high APY on there on USDC. If you invest through BlockFi, or if you buy USDC through BlockFi, you can get 8.6% APY. By the way, link in the description if you want to go get you some money on BlockFi and use my link down there. I don't know if that counts or not. And then I did 1,500 in Ethereum because Ethereum has a 6% stake for Ethereum too. So I don't know. Does that count? If it doesn't count, then I haven't really bought anything large in like 2 years. The last thing that I bought that was really large was my car, because I got in an accident. Do I regret that? Kind of, because I wish I hadn't gotten in the accident and had to spend money on the car. But as far as spending money on my family or buying gifts, I don't really care that much. So, second question, what sinking fund are you most excited to fully fund and why? House down payment, because house down payment and the housing market has been ridiculously expensive. I mean, literally houses are going off. People are buying houses without even looking at it, if you can't tell from my voice. But yeah, so that's the one that I'm most excited about, so that I can actually, like, you know, have a place of my own so I can do whatever I want. And then also so I can rent out a portion of that to other people so I can build more cash flow. So very excited to be able to be a homeowner, not just for the sake of being a homeowner, but because it continues down the journey of building more streams of income. Question number 3, who has been the most influential YouTuber for you while on your budgeting journey? I'm gonna change the word budgeting and put in there personal finance / investing journey, because I'm not the biggest budget person. We'll talk more about that later. The biggest influence for me is a guy named Joseph Carlson, because when I started wanting to learn more about investing, his channel and the way he went about investing just fit my framework and my mindset a lot more. I mean, throughout the journey, I've had a lot of other channels come along the way, like New Money, Investing with Tom, those kind of channels. Of course, I've learned a lot from them, and then I've learned a lot from a lot of other people as well. I'll say Joseph Carlson's show was the #1 YouTuber where I was like, yo, this guy knows a thing or two about this whole thing. Now, when you say my personal finance journey, I'll say Dave Ramsey, because he helped me get myself back. He's not a YouTuber, but a lot of his YouTube videos helped me get myself back on track as far as getting out of debt and those kind of things. But after a while, his mindset and his way of doing things didn't fit with me. So like anything else, learn how to take the good away from the bad, spit out the bones, take the meat, take the good from anybody that you're learning anything from, and then keep going on your journey. You're going to meet people who think differently from you. You're going to learn a lot from some people, and then you're going to be like, okay, where you're headed is not the same direction that I'm headed. So that's just one thing that I've learned along my personal finance journey. What is the biggest misconception about budgeting, in my opinion? So first of all, I don't really budget that hard. I mean, I use the Mint app. It's really good for me to just track all my expenses, but I don't really budget like most people that I've seen on YouTube, like actually have like a budget system. Like there are I didn't know this, but there's like major channels that are literally dedicated to budgeting on YouTube. I did not even know that existed, but people spend a lot of time budgeting. I really don't spend that much time on my budget. I basically generally have an idea of how much I'm going to spend every single month. And then the way I do everything is I automate my entire life, right? Because I just like things to be simple. So I automate everything. I literally you get 10 with where I work, you get 10 direct deposits that you can add. I literally use all 10 and then even extra outside of that because I always like things to just automate. So the money that I have in my direct spend accounts are the money that I can use to spend on whatever. And when that money runs out, it runs out. So the one thing that I think people have a misconception about when it comes to budgeting is that it's like a ball and chain. Like you can't do anything once you have a budget. Really, all a budget is a guardrail. It's just a guide rail. It's like driving down the interstate or driving down the highway, and then you have those lane markings on the highway. All it is, it tells you where you should be driving, right? And you can make adjustments and you can make changes as you go along your journey. You don't have to stay in the same place. You can always adjust things as you go during your budgeting journey, during your financial journey. So the one misconception that I keep having to like fight people on is your budget is not your be all end all. At the end of the day, your budget should be helping you. So if you're doing a budget that is not helping you make your life easier and better, something is wrong with that budget, because your budget should be helping you making your life a lot easier and a lot better as you go on your journey. For me, I like to open billions and hundreds of different types of accounts. As a matter of fact, I just opened a new account. I mean, I have over, hold on one second. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 plus accounts that I use for my money, because I just want my money to just go to where it needs to go without me having to think about it. So I don't really follow my budget per se. I just make sure that I automate everything, and then the money that I have to spend is the money that I have to spend. And also, if you want to open a Chime account, you can get $100 and I can get $100. Link down in the description, baby. Don't leave free money on the table. Question number 5. What is one item you splurge on no matter what? I don't really splurge on anything. I'll say family, because if they need anything, I'm gonna get it. Family, if they ask me like, hey, I need this, I'm gonna just buy it. For me personally, so one thing that I try to do every weekend is I love to go buy Zaxby's, Chick-fil-A, Chipotle are like the restaurants that I go to on the weekend. So I make space in my budget to try and go to those places. Also, plantain chips. That's what it is. Plantain chips. I literally buy a box of like 14 bags of plantain chips. And these are not like small bags. I wish I had one in here. Plantain chips are the one item that I always like literally buy. It's not healthy for me. I need to stop. I really need to stop buying it. But those are the two things. I'll say family, plantain chips. Next is, if you have a partner, are you on the same page with your budgeting goals? I don't have a partner. All by myself. Anyway, let's stop that. If you don't have a partner, yeah boy, will budgeting and money goals be a conversation you have early on in your relationship? I mean, definitely. The last relationship I was in, it was something we talked about. So it's definitely going to be something that we talk about in any relationship that I'm in, because one, I'm very passionate about investing. I'm talking about finance, talking about helping people get out of their monetary issues and helping people get on in their personal finance journey. So there's just no way that I don't talk about this with the person that I'm in a relationship with, because it's something that I love talking about all the time. If anybody has been with me for more than 15 minutes, it's going to come up and I'm going to definitely talk about it. So it's going to be something that's going to be very important to talk about in a relationship. Next question. If you were given $1,000 cash right now, how would you budget it and why? 10% automatically I'm going to donate. Then I'll say $650 is probably going to go to my house fund, which is probably going to go to USDC so I can earn like 8% APY on that thing. Interest rate, you know, your boy, I like free money. Just so you know, I like earning free money. And then the last little bit of that is going to go into one of 3 companies. Probably Disney, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, or CrowdStrike. Disney, because I believe that coming out of this pandemic period, they're going to be destroying everything, especially now that they have their streaming service. Microsoft, because I'm a fanboy of Microsoft. Amazon and Google, because a lot of people are underestimating just how much power that these 2 companies have, especially when you think of the fact that Google basically rules the internet and Amazon basically has everything that, as far as e-commerce. And did you know that only 14% of retail is done online? That's something that blows my mind. And then finally, CrowdStrike, because as we are living more and more of our lives online, I believe that we will have to have more and more cybersecurity. And CrowdStrike is one of those that I believe will be good in the space. So that's how I would spend $1,000 if I had it right now. Number 8, if you have children, which I don't, how do you handle talking about money with your kids? So I don't have children. People have asked me about this. I actually did a podcast episode. Go check out the Rambling Mind podcast about this, which will be released relatively soon. And I came up with a few tips, but then again, I don't have kids, so I don't know how that would work. But it says, if you don't have kids, what's the one lesson you would go back to in time to tell yourself about money? The one lesson I'll tell myself is, one, just because you're decent with money doesn't mean that you will not get into some kind of stupid amount of debt because you're not paying attention. And 2, start investing. Literally, even if it's $10 or $50, whatever amount that you have, as soon as you're in college, open up a brokerage account because you're over 18. Open a brokerage account, start funding that brokerage account, and start just literally investing and buying random stuff, because that way, the earlier you start, the better it will be for you. So 1, don't waste all your money on video games. 2, spend some of the money that you would have wasted on video games on investments. And 3, actually monetize your freaking YouTube channel so you can make some extra money on the side. One of the biggest mistakes I ever made was not monetizing, because back then, if you had ads on your YouTube video, you were literally like the devil. Like, people hated you. It's like, oh, he's a sellout and all that kind of nonsense. But oh man, I was so dumb. How has budgeting changed your life? So I'm going to switch this question to how has personal finance and taking my personal finance more seriously changed my life? It has helped me get more focused. When I started taking my personal finance seriously, I also started taking my health seriously. And I also just started taking life a little bit more seriously, right? So I started paying attention to like working out, what I eat, and all those kind of things just kind of went hand in hand. That's how it's changed for me. But on the negative side of things, because I'm so focused on it, sometimes I miss the grand picture. Sometimes I miss the more important things. Sometimes I miss the big things that are happening because I feel like, oh my gosh, I'm not where I need to be, which is dumb. Shout out to my sister for always listening to me lament how I'm not where I'm supposed to be and helping me think back to where I am right now and where God has brought me to. So that's the other thing, that personal finance, it can get out of hand, which is why we always say generosity is greater than greed. The more that I give, the less that I'm so focused on some obscure, stupid money goal. And then the last thing is, what is your biggest financial goal of 2021? It is literally to hopefully save up enough money to be able to buy a house this year. Probably not going to happen this year because house prices continue to run away from me. But that's the biggest goal for me right now. Yeah, so that is a little bit about your boy. If you like any of these questions, put your own answer down below, or maybe make a response to this video and tag yeah boy in that thing. But I'm gonna catch y'all up on the next one. Remember, generosity is always greater than greed. God bless each and every single one of y'all. And I'm out. Peace.